Today, I want to talk about Stronghold SHX once again and some more connections to major financial institutions, major financial companies, and FedNow, and how that all ties into XRP and XLM. So I do have CoinMarketCap pulled up, and if anyone is familiar with this project, they will know that the pricing for the SHX token has been very different on CoinMarketCap and on Gecko. That is because the CoinMarketCap one is the contract on the Ethereum network, and the CoinGecko one is actually on the XLM network. And if you'll note, they both have the incorrect market cap and circulating supply. So if you look on CoinMarketCap and you go to this thing by the circulating supply, the self-reported supply is about 14.3 billion SHX out of 100, and the self-reported market cap is just under 70 million as compared to about 5.8 billion and 28.5 million respectively. So there are more tokens out there than what these websites would suggest, and I really don't know why that is a problem at this point in time, but there seems to be some kind of a discrepancy there, even though they have provided the right information. So yeah, and if you look on Stellar Expert, we can see that the all-time price high on our candle wicks, at least on the all time frame, that was actually about 19 cents, which a lot of these other sites do not actually show. And if you zoom in a little bit more, it can become a little bit more clear, but not a whole lot, right? So we did actually hit 19 cents as a high, and then we came back and hit about 10.5 cents as well in November of 2021. So even compared to that one, we are currently about a 20x away from that, and about a 40x away from the true all-time high, which I think will be surpassed, and we could actually see the price of SHX in this bull run go over $1, as I explained more in my last video on SHX. Here are the charts, which I will talk about more. So here's a good one from Pharaoh X33. You likely missed the opportunity to buy XRP and XDC below 1 cent. You currently have the opportunity to buy SHX below 0.01 cents. I don't think that that's accurate anymore because we are at about 0.05 cents, and I think he meant 1 cent. So the point is, we can be in an area where we are able to accumulate a very, very large amount of SHX with all of the very valuable connections that it has. So here is a good overall post from Crypto Banker SHX, and I won't really read this whole thing, but it is a really good introduction into how SHX is connected to IBM, Ripple, XRP, XLM, FedNow, which I will talk about more here. It has been recognized by the World Bank, in short, and it is working with Nacha on ACH payments, which are worth about 76 trillion per year. So there is a very good driver for adoption and what that could do for the SHX token itself. It's not your typical crypto. It is a utility token providing liquidity for payments, kind of like XRP and XLM, which is very likely because the co-founders come from working on and with XRP and XLM. So here is a little bit from the XX account that I like to follow. This is from about 2 years ago at this point, but they launched a $100 million investment fund for fintech innovation. So they have a lot of money behind them, and that comes from the involvement with Ripple and Stellar, and the ties back into the PayPal mafia and how those individuals have done so well. So for those of you who might remember, I still don't know how to pronounce this. I just call it Xpring, which doesn't really make sense, but that is now Ripple Labs. They are called out as a key partnership in the original SHX white paper, along with IBM and the company behind XLM, which makes sense because they are so connected in to that. This was an article about that, which is on the official site, which is November of... Oh, I take that back. It was updated in November of 2022 to say that they are unaffected by the whole FTX crash. So I have seen some FUD on that, but it seems to just be FUD and there's no there. So this is old, but this information right here is probably the more important point. They have a system already built and in place generating revenues in the real world. It's not hype and hope. It is in place and ready to expand, and expand it has, as you can see on the charts. So if before I get into this next part, which is about connecting SHX and the people who are involved with SHX and how they are connected into FedNow and more things in the financial and the financial tech industries. So if you look for Bancor on here, they are called out as one of the participating financial institutions in FedNow, which is a really interesting thing to check into, and it just so happens that I already have. Now, not to hash on this a whole lot, but the big thing about SHX is that they are really concentrating on ACH payments, and in 2022 they had 30 the entire ACH industry had about 30 billion payments processed for a value of about 76.7 trillion, and that is expanding year over year. And that's important because SHX, I believe, is the only crypto, it's like the actual only crypto and the only company that owns a crypto product involved with the association for ACH payments. So let's get into a little bit more of the white paper, which calls out who are some of the people actually involved with SHX. So you have Daniel Cohen and Betsy Cohen, who work and have worked for Bancor, who we just highlighted with FedNow. So Daniel has talked about how banks will use on checkout credit, mortgages, loans, etc. Essentially over an app, and he also explains that he also talks about loyalty and the value it has to banks. More lending and less cost equals more value. So here is a clip of him. I won't really explain it because it's not directly about SHX. But this clip is about just that fact and how that entire payments related space is set to encounter a foundational change in the efficiency, cost, and transaction time as well with things like SHX. This is another clip, but this is from SHX's white paper. It was about a merchant financing example in the healthcare industry, where they were remodeling and they were investing in equipment. The remodel was accelerated by 12 months, and that resulted in a 15% increase in revenue as well, because they were able to do things quicker and cheaper. So here is Betsy Cohen. She was the CEO of Bancor for about 15 years, providing services to thousands of companies, including PayPal, and is a liquidity provider on FedNow. She was the Forbes most powerful self-made woman in 2022 and 2023, raised over $5 billion, and she oversaw 5 IPOs and 2.2 billion in assets under management. I think that's what that meant, which is almost always called out as AUM, but it's only AM here. So there is a reason she and the other esteemed advisors to SHX have chosen to advise, because they have track records in creating multi-million and multi-billion dollar revenue companies. She has 50 years of experience in that industry as well. So here is another interesting one. We've got some involvement with BlackRock as well, by way of Arthur Steinmetz. He is a current BlackRock board trustee. He is a Stronghold private investor as well, so he is bought in. And he is the former CEO of Oppenheimer Funds, who had 260 billion of assets under management and 13 million investor accounts. So here's a little bit more information on that. He's a private investor, calls it out right there. Talks about BlackRock there. That's his picture from the white paper. BlackRock again. And here's his time at Oppenheimer Funds as well. So here is a short synopsis of who Bancor actually is. They've got 7.9 billion in total assets, and they do very well with an average 19% return. Let's see, they are empowering business success, blah, blah, blah. We already talked a little bit about examples. They are the number one issuer of prepaid cards in the U.S. and a leading merchant servicer and a top ACH coordinator too. So they do a lot in the financial tech and the financial services industry. How much are they worth? Well, they're worth, in terms of market cap, a little over 2 billion at this point in time. And just to try to bring this one home, this is from about a week and a half ago, but it is even more true now, and I will show this on the charts. No matter how crazy the gains look over the last week or month for SHX, it is still a low cap, and it's right now under 70 million. A lot of the other ISO 222 coins like XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, and HBAR are all 700 million to 1 billion plus market caps. I think the only other one that might be under that is Casper, but I'm not sure off of the top of my head. Another interesting point is that on January 30th, Protocol 20 for the XLM network will have on-chain smart contracts as well. So that is interesting because most of SHX actually runs on XLM, and that is a really interesting thing. There is a reason that we are having the vote on what to do with the rewards, and how much of a percentage of those should be burned, which we haven't found out the results of yet, before that capability comes online. So if we look at the charts real quick, on our 1 week chart, we're still increasing on our MACD with our RSI high. And we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up weeks in a row, and have peaked out at about a little over half of a cent at this point. But on the 1 day chart, of course, things look more interesting right now. We are beginning to even out and even pull back a little bit on our MACD and RSI on the 1 day charts, but it appears as if we are attempting to hold this 0.0048 to 0.005 price range. And if we look on the 4-hour charts, which is normally as low of a time frame as I like to go, it looks like we might be beginning to pull up in our MACD and RSI. And that green wave here shows that a net positive cash inflow is actually happening into SHX, which makes sense because the price has been on the rise since about that time. Let's see, where does it go back to? It goes back a ways, but it really picked up in mid-December, when we pulled like a 500% gain, and we have continued to pick up since then. And I don't have any issues on the charts. I think we'll probably hang out in this area for a bit, but it also depends on what the Bitcoin spot ETFs do this week, and what kind of immediate price action that might have.